the Group D table after this evening's 2 games. As you can see, Denmark beating Georgia 5-1. The Republic of Ireland 5 points clear of the Danes. But as you can see, the Republic of Ireland have played a game more than Denmark and 2 games more than Switzerland. And Switzerland are the next visitors to Dublin on the 5th of September. Right, so that's how things look in Group D. Liam Brady, what's your verdict? We heard Ronnie say the performance on the night was not good enough.
No, that goal at the end puts a bit of a gloss on it, doesn't it? You know, but the performance wasn't good enough. But the group table is looking very healthy. 10 points, not a convincing 10 points, I'd have to say. I thought we were lucky against Denmark, although the courage and character of the team was evident there. But the Danes let us off the hook, really. So a bit flattering, the fact that we have 10 points. It maybe should only be 9 against 3 in 3 matches. One against Georgia at home that we played okay in. We played quite well in the second half and deserved our win. The 2 games against Gibraltar were scrappy, were poor. The standard of play from us was very average.
A 2-0 win for Ireland. Didi, what's your overall verdict after the 90-odd minutes?
Well, it was hard work, and it was a hard watch for most of the 90 minutes. We expected a game Ireland controls, which they did. I don't think Gibraltar was any threat whatsoever. I think in the last qualifying campaign they scored 2 goals, conceded 56 on average. They conceded 5.5 goals. But Ronnie mentioned in commentary, going forward it was just not enough, and they lacked awareness. They lacked, little passes. Play 1-2 is just helping each other, showing for the ball. And I just worry, and I said it on Friday, there's bigger tests to come, and it was a perfect opportunity today to get a bit of confidence, the centre forwards, and get confidence in their own ability. And I think the bigger question you have to ask now, do you just, because I think we all agree that it wasn't good enough with the ball, do we accept it and say, well, this is what they are? I struggle to believe that this team is not better than what they showed in the last 2 games. I think they've got to be better. These are players who play in the Championship or the Premier League, and they, most of them are regulars in their teams. I know some had injury problems, didn't play for a while, but they've got to be better than this. And if they don't improve dramatically, they are in a great position now. But you've got to expect that everybody will beat Gibraltar twice. Mm-hmm. They are in a very good position, and I don't think you should be fooled by the 10 points and Denmark and Switzerland are behind. They've got games in hand, because if they don't improve an awful lot, I think it'll be very tough to finish in the top 2.
Richie?
I think what about that 10 points? I think the majority, certainly Denmark and Switzerland, will get 6 points against these. And this is a group that if you finish level on points, it goes to head-to-head, and if you're level on head-to-head, it'll go to goal difference. I think it's a missed opportunity for us to improve on our goal difference. Georgia got in against Gibraltar as many in one game as we took over the 2 games, so that could be something we'll live to regret. But it was a tired performance. We looked jaded, from Friday night, whether it was the long season, whether it was the training camp, or whether it was just players' attitudes, or they weren't tuned into the pace of the game. But for so long we had the ball. And the challenge on Friday night was, we picked out at half-time, was to deal with Denmark players running cleverly off the ball and finding space between the midfield and our defence. The challenge tonight was to try and find space ourselves, try and create space with the ball, just do something sharp, so something unpredictable, something just off the cuff that catches the defender off guard, and we couldn't do that for the whole of the 90 minutes. To have that many shots on target over 90 minutes, so few shots on target against a team of that quality, and to test that goalkeeper so little. He's a poor goalkeeper. But you watch that tonight, and you wouldn't really look at him and go, bar the second goal, he's poor, because he wasn't really tested that often.
What do you put it down to? I know you talk about fatigue. 37 days since the end of the Championship, 30 days since the end of the Premier League, the match on Friday, the bus being half an hour late.
I blame the bus. Surely we can't be sitting. I know you're not. I know you're not. We cannot be sitting.
Teams like Man United and others before, and the Irish rugby team. But let's not do that. But why wasn't it better, Liam? Why? How do you prepare for a game? First of all,
we have no outstanding midfield players, and we've no outstanding player to take people out of the game by beating them and like dribbling them like when we had in the past, like a Damien Duff, for instance. Didn't be nowhere near Damien Duff standards tonight. Nowhere near Robbie Keane as a goal scorer, and a playmaker. Well, we just don't have. So that's our lot really. But like Didi, there has to be improvement. Unfortunately, Mick's taken over after we've had the Nations League, so he has very little time to work with anything. Again, I'd like to have seen Doherty playing tonight to see if he could play. Hendrick over the 2 games against Denmark and tonight was anonymous. Didn't see him, and that was an opportunity for me that was missed to see if that lad can play in midfield, because he's take Coleman and out of the equation. It's probably Doherty, our best player. So is that lad going to only play when Coleman's injured, or Coleman might be suspended? I think that's a bit unfair. So it's worrying, as Didi says. We don't improve a lot to expect us to take more points off Switzerland, home and away, to I know we've got a result in Denmark, but to beat the Danes here, it's going to be a tall order. We've got a platform to do it from, and we've got a fortunate point in Copenhagen. So we have a platform to do it, and I think George mentioned that at the end of the match. It was a very good point. We've got the points on the board. With the performances that we put in, it could easily have been the opposite. It could easily have been maybe 9 points, and that point against Denmark can make all the difference, but we have to improve dramatically.
Under the previous management, we did pretty well away from home. It was at home where we'd have more of the ball. Now, I don't know if we're going to have more of the ball against Denmark or Switzerland, 2 really good teams, when we play them here. But that's the challenge now, that you've got to try, as an Irish team, dominate those 2 outstanding teams when they come here and beat them here. We struggled doing that before, even go back. Trapattoni, it was we had some really good results here, but it was always a struggle to dominate big teams here.
Yeah, no, I agree, but at the same time, I think it may still suit him better because they don't have to make the game, and sometimes it's easier to react than actually take the game to the opposition, and this is something as we've seen today, where they lack dramatically. Where when you look at the top 20, top 30 teams. They have huge problems opening teams up and creating goal-scoring opportunities. Denmark on Friday, I think they created more chances from open play than Ireland did today against Gibraltar. And when you speak to footballers, players want to be in possession, especially the forward players. If you ask them, do you rather defend or be in possession? 90%, 100% of the forwards, and even most of the defenders probably say, no, we like to play with the ball, because obviously I don't want to chase other people and run after them. Now, you have an opportunity tonight against a team that didn't offer much going forward. So, you got possession back pretty quickly. You've got to play with a joy on your face or a smile on your face. You have to have joy opening teams up, playing with you, playing little 1-2s, work the opposition. This is something, usually they are fitter, we heard before, they are fitter than they used to be. But still in the last 20-25 minutes they got a bit tired. But they should have been a lot more tired because Ireland didn't work him enough.
Chasing the ball.
You've got to work him. You've got to work and tire the opposition out. And then you get chances. And then you can take advantage. And you may have won that game 4 or 5-0, but they didn't. And that spark when you're in possession to give it to the right players, to try something, make angles for each other, help each other, and keep possession. Is something players or professional footballers should get great joy of. And they don't seem to, I'm not sure whether they don't seem to click, but they, everything looks laboured, and there's a dribbling here, there's a cross here, got to be fortunate with a second goal. And that's something you have to do because you won't have as much of the ball against Denmark and Switzerland.
In mixed defence, though, we had 71% of the ball tonight, but in his defence, as Liam said, he hasn't had that long to work with the players. 4 games, a training camp away in Portugal, straight into it, lift the mood, change the mood of the players, which he has done. We've always struggled in matches. I know,
but it's not about possession. It's what you do with the ball. Yeah. And now you can say, well, we struggled in the past against teams. Yes, that's right. But we played against the number 100 in what? 65?
195.
195 in the world, and there's probably only about 210 or 250 nations. So, it's where you set the bar, and that's what I said before. Do we accept that the team is not better than what they are? I struggle to believe. If you look at the teams they play for, and some of them, or most of them are regulars, you've got to be better. You play against a team of part-timers, and if you can't open these guys up, what chance have you got against Switzerland and Denmark when they come here?
Richie, let's have a look at the second goal. It came, 3 minutes into additional time from Robbie Brady.
Yeah, as Liam said, I put a little bit of gloss on it. Brady himself actually begins to move. He's in the bottom of the screen now. You can see him timing his run perfectly. Brito is the defender, number 20 there. He has no awareness of him or just doesn't go with him. This ball from Hourihane out wide, we saw this several times during the game. And McLean, for all the ball he had at his feet, the quality of ball wasn't there. This by the goalkeeper. Again, this is what he is capable of doing if you put him under pressure and test him. We didn't do it enough, and it was a decent header from Brady, but to have to wait that long for the second goal was a concern. But there were so many individuals. Like, I think Hendrick looked very sluggish. I think Coleman got in attacking areas a hell of a lot, and his final ball was poor. Robinson, any of the work he did was in front of defence. I don't think he went in behind the defence often at all. And McLean, I think, unless he's got space to attack, or we're playing at the counter-attack, or he's against a full-back who leaves you a load of space. I don't know if he does a hell of a lot when he's faced with 4 static defenders. So until the ninth injury time,
he did give Hogan a chance, and he really didn't take it, did he? I thought he had a chance in the first half with the header, and he missed it completely. And his general play was very average. I thought Robinson did okay down the right. At least he could come inside. He was confident on the ball. So I would say he was a plus. But the outstanding player I've seen over the last 2 games, and I watched on television when we beat Georgia here, has been David McGoldrick. He's been a real plus. And if we get Long back fit and playing again, and Shane finished the season very well, that might be a good partnership.
Well, okay, Liam, show us why David has stood out.
He's a natural footballer, and he was the only player tonight, in my opinion, that was doing something different. He can hold the ball up. He's explained to us there that he can play his second striker. This he'd be disappointed with. As Ronnie says, he should get that on target, but he linked up well with Hogan. This was a good ball across the 6-yard box with his left foot, so the lad can play with 2 feet. This shows his pace and his power when he breaks away, and he gives Hogan a very nice pass. Hogan took it a little bit too wide to be able to do anything with. He challenges people in the air, strength, knocks that down lovely to Stevens, I think it was. Little bit of invention, can beat a player, slip a pass like that. I think he's been a huge plus. And this was where he described that he thought he'd scored, and this was the only thing that got me off my chair tonight, was this, where he came inside and tried to bend it in, and you can hear it thud against the post. Really unfortunate. It's a shame that he didn't have this ball going on target, but if it's going on target, they give him the goal, and no one's deserved a goal more than him over the games that he's reappeared in the Irish team. A big plus, and with Long and him, I think it gives us a lot more threat up front, but unless we give him the service, unless we play better in midfield, it's like having a gun up front with no bullets in it.
Okay, Mick McCarthy. Richie, what do you make of that?
What did I make? Look, he's right in everything he's saying. It's 10 points, which is the most realistic, probably the most optimistic prediction you'd have of yourself after the 4 games. But it's interesting, they said the dressing room was flat as well. Like, we were flat watching it. I think a lot of people in the crowd and at home would be a little bit flat and underwhelmed for understandable reasons, because their expectations, not just because of the performance against Georgia or the point the other night, you'd expect what we have to look a hell of a lot better tonight given what they had, and we didn't. So understandable disappointment. But yes, he's right. It's halfway point, 10 points. It's superb. And you can see why a dressing room stays behind him all the time, and why he's so popular with players. He had so many opportunities there. Tony poked away at him to see could he in some way criticise the players at the performance, and he didn't go near any of it.
I thought he was very belligerent.
It's a great word.
Yeah.
He used that word to describe Gibraltar beforehand and after.
Yeah, I thought he was very belligerent.
Yeah.
He was touchy. His team didn't play well. He knows that. But he's the kind of guy that's going to defend them no matter what, in front of any question.
That's to be admired.
But all the managers, all proper managers do that. But, we're here to analyse the match, and we're here to say who played well and who didn't. Very few played well. Ireland didn't play well, but they've got the 10 points. And we showed before the match that things have improved under Mick, and he's got McGoldrick, and we've got 10 points, and we've got Denmark and Switzerland to come here. So let's see what happens.
What about the point, Didi, that Mick McCarthy made, that we played better against the better teams? This was a match we were expected, we knew deep down we were going to win it.
Yeah, well, I think he half referred to the game on Friday, where I've got a different opinion. I don't think they played well at all. And they were lucky to get a draw. But yes, in the past, if you look at Germany away and here, Italy, there were bigger teams where, as I said before, it's easier to react. And when they don't have to make the game, I think it'll suit them. But I think we've got to put more responsibility on the players, because under the old regime, there was a lot of talk that players were disillusioned because they had to go long, they weren't allowed to play football. Now they've got a guy who backs them to the hill. And, he doesn't criticise two very average performances. He doesn't criticise them. He wants them to play. He gives them the freedom to play. They had a chance to play tonight and they didn't. So I think it's about time. It's always hard to say how much influence the manager got in a short space of time, especially for a national team, because you only have them for so many days. Yeah. I think he brings positivity. I think he brings something to the camp. I think he brings the people together. He brings the fans on board. I think now it's time for the players to show what they can do, and that they're better than what they showed in the last two games.
Because there are big tests to come.
Yeah, I think it's going to take time to go from what we were used to seeing to becoming close to, on a consistent basis, seeing what we want to see. But you're right, the next home game is against Switzerland. We win that, the place is bouncing.
Okay, there is the Group D table at the halfway stage in this Euro 2020 qualifying campaign. As you can see, the Danes and Switzerland, a bit of catching up in terms of games they've actually played, but the Republic of Ireland have 10 points from 4 games, which was the target. Mick McCarthy referred to it in his interview. They have achieved that target, and we're back on the 5th of September, the Republic of Ireland at home to Switzerland. That's going to be quite an interesting evening.